Good morning, Morgan, and good morning to any of Morgan's friends that have joined us for this video for today. And this is going to be a little long one, so let's not muck about and let's get to reading, all right? All right.
Python Training Video 46. Methods of File Objects. The rest of the examples in this section will assume that a file object called f has already been created. To read a file's contents, call f.read size, which reads some quantity of data and returns it as a string, in text mode, or bytes object, in binary mode. Size is an optional numeric argument. When size is omitted or negative, the entire contents of the file will be read and returned. It's your problem if the file is twice as large as your machine's memory. Otherwise, at most size characters, in text mode, or size bytes, in binary mode, are read and returned. If the end of the file has been reached, f.read will return an empty string.
All right. Now I went ahead and all these examples I've put into some code. All right, so let's just keep reading.
F.readLine reads a single line from the file. A new line character, \n, is left at the end of the string, and is only omitted on the last line of the file if the file doesn't end in a new line. This makes the return value unambiguous. If f.readLine returns an empty string, the end of the file has been reached, while a blank line is represented by \n, a string containing only a single new line.
All right, we got an example for this in the code, and as soon as we get to it, we'll talk more about this.
For reading lines from a file, you can loop over the file object. This is memory efficient, fast, and leads to simple code.
Yes, it does, and we're going to talk about that too. All right, and I'm going to show you how to use it. All right, let's keep going.
If you want to read all the lines of a file in a list, you can also use list, f, or f.readLines. F.write, string, writes the contents of string to the file, returning the number of characters written. F.write, this is a test \n.
All right, we've got these examples in the code, and we'll run those.
Other types of objects need to be converted either to a string, in text mode, or a bytes object, in binary mode, before writing them.
All right, we're definitely going to be talking about binary later on, but let's just get through this reading, and if it's confusing, if we're going too fast, just pause the video and go back and listen to it again.
F.tell returns an integer giving the file object's current position in the file represented as number of bytes from the beginning of the file when in binary mode and an opaque number when in text mode. To change the file object's position, use f.seek, offset, whence. The position is computed from adding offset to a reference point. The reference point is selected by the whence argument. A whence value of 0 measures from the beginning of the file. 1 uses the current file position, and 2 uses the end of the file as the reference point. Whence can be omitted and defaults to 0, using the beginning of the file as the reference point.
All right, man, it's getting confusing, isn't it? I got all these examples in here. Now, let's think about this. Remember back when we were doing the string objects and all the different methods that you could use, the examples, and it turned out that there was like a ton more that the manual doesn't talk about? Same situation here. They're showing us the seek, the write, the read, and they're showing us how it works. But the bottom line is, dun, 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 look at all this stuff. There's about what? Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 different methods. Not as many as there was for the string object, but still, this gives you an awful lot of options, and you're going to have to play around with these things individually to figure out what they do, because we're not going to be covering them in this video. All right, because it's just too much, and we've got a lot of territory that we still have to cover. All right, let's go over to the code. All right, here we are in the code. I put a ton of print statements in here so that we can follow what's going on in the output, because there's a lot going on. Okay, we're opening the files. Okay, we're writing to the files, we're reading the files, we're closing the files, we're opening up the files again. There's this wonderful little loop where we can just print all the every line in the file, not just by doing it that way. Here's a little conversion where we're converting a list to a string. That's cool. Here's binary. Now, about binary, I put in all these displays here for a reason, so that you understand what different types of math systems we're using. Binary is simply 1 and 0. Decimal, you know all about. It's 0 to 9. And then there's something called hexadecimal that should be at X. Okay, that goes from 0 to F because it's 16. Now, why do we have hexadecimal? To make it easier to understand binary. You take 4 of these things, and which are called bits. You put 4 of them together, that becomes a byte. 1 byte of data will equal a hexadecimal character. And here you go. It's in the output. All right. And then there's all those other frickin' things that were in the example we got here. All right. Now with that, we're going to run the code, and then we're going to really dive into this. All right. See you in a bit. Okay, Morgan, things are going to get like super confusing with this. So what I want you to do is I want you to open up another instance of YouTube, load the video into that one, okay, so that what I want you to do is I want you to be able to go back and forth between me talking about the output and the reading in the beginning of the of the video, so you can fold back and forth. So maybe this can cut through the confusion. You can understand this because I'm a little confused about it myself. All right. So here we go. We open the file. This is a list. This is just a regular string. Look, we use the write function to write the one. Look, we use the write lines for the frickin' list. We close the file. We open the file. We read the file. We print what's in the file. What's in the file? Look, there it all is. Right? All right, now we open up, but it's only in read. Thing. Oh, by the way, with these things, I've taken out the the double quotes, so that the print statement will work. Okay. All right. Anyway, so here we go. All right, now let's start just going through here pretty quickly and refer back to the reading if you need to. All right. Here's the loop. All right. I love loops, don't you? Here's the thing where we do the conversion, and then this is kind of weird because when you read the right S, it comes back with 18. I don't know. What did that mean? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. Anyway, and what we were expecting according to the reading, because you're going to want to figure this out because I've already forgotten why it's 18. Close it. All right, now we're getting into the binary stuff. So here's why I added all that stuff in there. All right, so we're writing all these characters here, right? 16 characters. The B says, oh, look, it's binary. And of course, this stuff was supposed to be, within the double brackets, but I took it out. So now the B is bleeding into the whatever. I've got yourself a little key here I put in so you can understand how the binary, the decimal, and the hexadecimal work. Okay. Here's what it looks like in binary. Here's what it looks like in hex. Because this is written in hex, not binary. Okay. Even though it says it's binary, these computers represent binary data in hexadecimal. That's why you need the key. Okay? All right. Now we do the write function, 16. All right, it must have to do with how many characters there are in there. Then we do a seek 5. I guess that means it finds the 5. Read the first one. I don't know why we get a 5. But we do. Maybe. And it says that we were expecting to be 5. Why that is, you better do the reading. And this is when it just completely goes haywire. And I don't understand why it does this. With this seek statement, -3 to the second place, it returns 29. The book says 13. You know, why it happened like that, I don't know. And I'm too lazy to figure out why. Okay, but obviously there's a disconnect between the manual and what it actually does in reality. And then here you're going to read one, and sure enough, it goes BD, BD. Okay, whatever. All right. And with that, that finishes this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Now, try not to get in too much trouble today, all right? All right.